Her name is Hannah. The nurse brought her to the office, excitedly introduced herself as Ruth, and gave her a sweater like a birthday party. Once seated, Ruth asked Hannah if she knew what escape meant. Hannah robotically replied, yes, it means to run. She also informed Ruth that the driver who hit her mom didn't bowl right away, but rather casually left after waiting for the ambulance to arrive, like he was on a leash. She added her mom often did silly things, tripping while walking, falling into the toilet like a new UFO. Everything needed her help to go right. Ruth, curious, asked Hannah, does your mom drink? Hannah shook her head. She leaned her little head close to Ruth and bluntly said, Mom wants to kill Dad. Talk about family drama at the Midnight National Criminal Investigative Agency. Male officer Gade flipped through incident reports and unexpectedly found the Zhao hit and run case. After reading the case report, he called a couple who, despite being in dreamland, jumped up like springs upon hearing the victim was a 30-year-old blonde and dashed off to the hospital. In the hospital, doctors saved Lena when the blood monitor suddenly screamed, help. In dying. The lead surgeon turned to his assistant, as if to say, did you mess this up? The assistant replied, the hospital records clearly state the patient has Rh-negative blood, no mistake here. Meanwhile, Hannah was drawing, and Ruth noticed she seemed to be sketching home, oddly, windows sealed like a prison. Curiously, Ruth asked about Hannah's family situation, to which Hannah replied, besides my mom, I have a brother named. She added, we don't have any windows at home, we rely on an air circulation machine, which has become their own little cheerleading squad. Once, when the machine broke down, it was Dad who fixed it. Ruth then asked Hannah where she lived, and the little girl refused to answer, almost like she was protecting a national secret. Suspecting that Hannah might be in captivity, Ruth relayed this news to the just-arrived Ada and her aunt and called in a psychologist. Detective Ada, responsible for the case, wanted to meet Hannah like a curious little kid. Ruth led them to the office. Seeing people, Hannah stood up, extending her hands to wave hello. Seeing this, Ada joked, I don't want to arrest you. Meanwhile, Ruth explained, she does this to everyone, and everyone laughed. At that moment, the couple arrived, entered the operating room, saw injured Lena, and the man shouted, that's not my daughter. After coming out of the operating room, the man saw the arriving Gade and, in disappointment, said, you promised me 13 years ago she'd come. Saying that, he stormed out like a gust of wind. Just then, Hannah unexpectedly encountered the man who was eagerly coming to visit his mother, and upon catching sight of the little girl not far away, he displayed a shocked expression on his face and promptly knelt to the ground, while at the same time, the female officer guided the couple into a room. Martin's daughter Lena disappeared 13 years ago. Gade was the investigating officer. Martin's wife exclaimed, that little girl looks just like Lena, like a mini version of her. She pulled out the photo, and the girl in it looked just like Hannah, like they were twins or something. Oddly enough, Lena was already in her 20s when she went missing. There's no way she could have rejuvenated like that. Ada told Martin and his wife to calm down and reminded them that Lena had just been in a bad car accident and was seriously injured. Given how much Hannah resembles a younger Lena, it's possible that during the past 13 years since Lena went missing, she might have had a baby Martin, and his wife could have just been too nervous and mixed up, like playing a game of adventure. But old Martin firmly stated, I won't fail to recognize my own daughter. Ada turned, asking Gade to fetch the 13-year-old case files. After Gade left, Ada relayed Ruth's words to Martin and wife. If little Hannah is lying, there should be a little boy where they were held captive. Meanwhile, Hannah's brother Jonathan was scrubbing the blood stains on the carpet, looking like a little janitor. Not far away, a man lay on the ground, seemingly devoid of life, like a scene straight out of a TV show. After DNA sampling, Ada asked Martins to leave, but old Martin insisted on staying, awaiting a miracle like in a TV drama. Just before leaving, Ada inquired about Lena's blood type. Martin's wife replied, Lena has the same AB blood type as I do. Hearing this, Ada found Gade and inquired about the details of the missing persons case, like a little detective. Gade admitted he was neighbours with Martin and his wife and watched Lena grow up. He sighed, this is the first clue we've found in 13 years. Before this, they had genuinely tried every conceivable method they could think of, searching repeatedly, but unfortunately, Lena seemed to have vanished completely from the face of the earth, leaving no trace whatsoever. After Ada left, Gade entered, opened her hand, and bizarrely noticed the scars matched Lena's exactly. He was sure, beyond doubt, that the woman in the hospital bed was definitely not Lena. Old Martin has mixed this up, and Gade was at a loss, asking the woman, who on earth are you? The woman in the hospital suddenly woke up, gasping for air, and in a daze, a man's voice echoed in her head. The nurse rushed into the room, pushing Gade aside, constantly comforting the woman in bed, like she was wrapping her in a warm blanket. But the man's voice continued to echo in her ears like some hypnotic whisper. An hour later, Ada arrived at the crime scene, just like a hero from a movie. Based on little Hannah's account, there should be a boy where they were imprisoned. Little Ada said she had seen that man while travelling, but it was a secret between her and her mom, giving it a sweet yet mysterious vibe.